All right, let's talk Shedeur Sanders here. More Shedeur Sanders tape, and I gotta say, easily his best tape in his young career. And he's had some other, I think, good moments, but to me, this was a really impressive showing from the young quarterback, even if they ultimately did not get the victory. Let's talk about what he did well. For one thing, something like this, we'll talk about another play kind of similar than this in just a second. But you see here, play action, he's going to look towards his left. Watch how when this play begins, you're going to see that Shedeur Sanders flips this one, and it's not really open. Again, to be clear, there is a Titans player, he's standing on the white part of the C, so it looks a little bit tough to see. But, there is a player here. This is what Shedeur Sanders does. He likes to give his players a chance to go up and get the football. And as you see, it's just a nice throw, a nice catch. David Njoku is the one who makes the grab right there. He can make a tough catch. We know that, and he's able to make one there. And I do think that Shedeur Sanders doing this kind of thing has added something to this Browns offense, right? I think it's given it something. This play was another one. This is definitely more a scheme play than a Shedeur Sanders play, but still, you got to execute the scheme plays, and sometimes those are the ones that really can bump up the stats. This play, it's a zone coverage concept. You have the slot receiver towards the bottom of the screen, going to run a deeper route, kind of trying to just take the safety out of position. You then have the receiver closest toward the bottom of the screen. That is Jerry Jeudy. He's going to be the one running, hopefully, to now where the safety isn't. Watch, Shedeur Sanders takes the snap right here, and you see this is just really well executed. The corner for Tennessee is late in getting here, and you just have a wide open receiver. So for Shedeur Sanders, putting the ball there in the right time and throwing an accurate pass is all you got to do at this point. As you see, that's exactly what he does. Judy's going to take this the rest of the way for a touchdown, so give Jerry Jeudy a lot of credit for this play. But just, again, everyone executing effectively, and these were the kind of plays you weren't really getting with Dillon Gabriel. Granted, Dillon Gabriel wasn't playing against the Tennessee Titans, but still, you weren't getting these with Joe Flacco either, right? It's not all because of Sanders, but he's executing the offense. Now, let's talk some negatives. There were some negatives in this game. It wasn't a ton, to be honest, but there were a couple. So, like this play, it's first down and 10, right around midfield, so game situation matters. Sanders is going to take the snap. Play action really works. Good pass protection here. I do think that there was pretty good pass protection in this game. Not every play, but on a decent chunk of them. You see Sanders, he has time, and he's going to say from here, maybe you can try and scramble up and pick up some yards, and you can kind of see why. Really, towards the top of the screen, flipping it back to the play action, that's something that he should do. When you run play action and things are covered, usually the halfback ends up getting open because they didn't pay attention to the halfback, which is why everything's covered. So that's usually where you'd like to see him go to, towards the top of the screen. Instead, he starts to scramble, you get it, but then things go haywire. He ends up throwing this one right into the dirt. That's intentional grounding because there was no one in the area. So, yeah, not just a decision that didn't work out there, right? Totally fair to say. Now, there also were a couple of missed throws here, but I think it's worth mentioning. There were really tough conditions in this game. So, like this one, definitely someone you'd like to see him put really get it there earlier, not put the ball up so high. Because, again, he got it far down the field, but it took so long for it to get there. You have to wonder how much the conditions played a role. There were a couple of situations like that. This one might not even be the best example. So, I'm not holding against him, but I will just bring that up. But yeah, okay, now let's go over here, because, really, I'm telling you, that was it. Let's look at a play like this. So, again, everyone's going to say, whatever, he beat the Titans. The Titans they didn't beat the Titans. They lost the Titans, but he played well against the Titans, a team that hasn't been great this season. But that doesn't mean he didn't make good plays. Like this one, it's really going to be the tight end's route that he's going to look towards. Tight end who's going to be going from the, going towards the top of the screen. It's Harold Fannin Jr. Watch. Shedeur Sanders takes the snap. Fannin Jr. is trying to get past his assigned man. There's definitely a window. Worth mentioning, Sanders got hit as he was making the throw. If you watched him in college, you know he can take a hit and make a throw. And look at that. Perfectly accurate throw. Great job there by him. Again, while under pressure, while getting hit to make that play. This is why Mel Kiper had him as quarterback one, right? I wasn't quite that high on him, but this is why some people were, because of this ability. This one, you see, there's watch the player off the edge here for Tennessee. Sanders is going to take the snap. This player gets past. There's supposed to be a chip, but it kind of goes horribly wrong. So left tackle doesn't even touch him. Unblocked player off the blind side. legitimately, if Sanders were to fumble this football, I'd kind of sit here and say, like it's off the blind side. What are you going to do? Not only does he not fumble it, he doesn't even go down there. Listen, he throws the football away. It's not ultimately a great play for the offense, but turning what could have been a sack, maybe a fumble, but very least a sack, into a loss of 0, well, that's 7 yards. It's just saving 7 yards the other way. So the ability to avoid a bad play happening was impressive there from Sanders. Now, the biggest mistake, I should have put this in the mistakes pile earlier, but we'll talk about it now because this was definitely an error by Sanders, and a bad one. And honestly, I think you're looking at this for Cleveland and saying, what was the biggest mistake that cost them the game offensively? It was this play. So you have, it's 2nd down and 20. Sanders is going to take the snap, again, up 3 points late in the third with the conditions. Like, you definitely don't have to take any chances. There's pressure in his face for Shedeur Sanders. Again, there's a check down open towards the top of the screen. Now, I'd like to see him get to those check downs a little bit earlier. Again, I'm not saying he's playing poorly. I'm just saying there are ways for him to improve, as there are with every young quarterback. Instead, plays a little bit of hero ball. Watches he's going to throw this. First he gets around the pressure. Good job there. But then throws just up a jump ball, essentially. And here, this is just, it's not a smart decision. Again, regardless of how well you want your receiver to finish this route, it's just not a smart decision. There's multiple defenders. There's more ways this can go wrong than right. I get it. It's 2nd and 20. But, sometimes you have to just accept the situation, play field position, and be willing to punt the ball away if you don't convert. Here, this ends up as an interception, a nice return as well, which ultimately helps set up, the Titans to score a touchdown. They took the lead, and they never looked back. So that was not ideal, and that was definitely the thing that I'm sure the Browns coaching staff will be the most upset at when they do film study. Although, we got to go over here now, because the game was not over. So it was a 14-point deficit, but, hey, game's not over. Score a touchdown to stop a touchdown. You can either tie the game or win it, maybe, depending on how the 2-point conversions go. Sanders takes the snap. He is going to look up. There's kind of pressure in his face. Nothing's really open down the field. What are you going to do here? Well, first, watch his ability to get outside the pocket. Hey, whatever works, he does successfully get here. You have a defensive lineman trying to tackle him, but this is just tough. A big run-stuffing defensive lineman. This is T'Vondre Sweat, who I believe in college was listed as 370 pounds. That's a difficult situation to try and make that tackle. As you see, Sanders takes advantage. That's almost like a point guard getting past the big man in basketball, right? Really good stuff there from Sanders to be able, even takes the hit, but gets into the end zone. Now, they go for 2, it's the analytics play, and then they fumble the snap. That's not the analytics play, so now they find themselves down 8. But again, heading over here, Sanders runs the offense. He gets them inside the 10-yard line. He was making plays. It wasn't just like screen passes. Listen, there was like a 60-yard screen pass in this game, but other than that, it was him just legitimately running the offense. What I wanted to see more of last week, we saw more of this week of let's see what Sanders has. 2nd and goal, you see the route he's going to look towards. Watch as he takes the snap. It's Harold Fannin Jr. Of course it's Harold Fannin Jr. That's a guy you want to look towards in these situations, and he is definitely open in this spot. Is able to get kind of towards the sideline. Watch. I like that throw from Sanders. Just throw one up, give your guy a chance to make a tough grab. Fannin Jr. does what he does, gets the touchdown that brings them within 2. They have a trick play that goes horribly wrong and lose the game, but ultimately, what are you going to do? Sanders did his part. We're able to get them within 2. So again, not a perfect day, not a perfectly clean day, but I'm sorry, these are the kind of games you want to see from a rookie quarterback, especially when it's a 5th-round rookie. And for Sanders, who we kind of all kept saying, listen, he was a 5th-round pick, and whether you think he should have been or shouldn't have been, he's going to have to show something down the stretch to earn a job next year, to, at least try and, I'm assuming he wants to not just be a guy on a roster, but a guy who has a chance for the Browns to say, okay, you're our starter. Well, this is the real opportunity to show something. Again, going to get tougher. Play the Bears, the Bills, the Steelers, and the Bengals to end the season. So, Bengals shouldn't be too tough. Bears, Bills, and Steelers have kind of all been up and down defensively. So potentially some opportunities, but here he was able to show some flashes. Again, not a perfect game. They did ultimately lose, but I think that you can sit here and still say he played pretty well. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.